Hey, what's going on, sir?
Nothing much. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, no, thank you for coming. If
If you were a chick, I'd be all over that, but yeah.
Why you gotta be about gender, yo? Like, I thought we were beyond all that. No?
I guess it's the thousands, whatever.
I mean, you know.
How's everybody doing out there?
Yeah.
Oh, we practice better than that, guys. Come on, how are y'all doing out there? Just checking. So, he'll be here interview? All right, that's cool. Brian, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Here we are in
OKC.
OKC.
Yeah, how's it been treating you?
Well, you know, as someone who traveled down on Thursday night from New York City, where we're having extremely warm weather.
Yeah.
It was interesting that I said, "Oh, I'm flying south. It'll be great, nice and warm." And I got here, and it was like 32 degrees.
Which one of y'all ordered this?
I'm like, it's fucking Oklahoma City. Like, I understand, like, oh no, we'll go for tornadoes, that's cool.
Right.
And even the driver, when he picked me up at the airport, he's like, yeah, there was a tornado hit the casino last weekend. And he was like, there was a concert going on, and no one even cared until they got out to the parking lot and saw things move. They're like, what happened? We really blew the roof off this shit. Look at this. Rock on. That was definitely a fierce concert at that time. Who was it? At the concert? What was the show?
Beach Boys.
Wow.
Yeah, like real. And we're gonna have fun till the tornado hits us today. By the way, I curse if you have children's or sensitive ears, or you're going to church group right after this, and you need to say a couple of Hail Marys. We do have subject matter. If you're a fan of the films, then you fucking should know that.
Yeah, you
So this isn't safe for the children's ears, or for that matter, older people's ears.
So let's talk about the movie Vulgar, since you started.
Well, let's start with the light subject. Like the movie Vulgar.
Let's go very cheery.
Right.
As I personally know, but I don't know if everyone else does, that movie was written with you in mind.
Yeah, if you're fans of the comic book men and Brian Johnson, the big bearded wonder, here we go. Funny you had to milk them.
I mean, I did it too. Normally you don't have to get guys to work that hard to cheer for a BJ, but whatever.
Yeah, they're out in LA for Stan Lee's Comic Con this weekend. But anyway, he wrote and directed and co-starred in this movie called Vulgar, which is based on the cartoon character from the very beginning of Clerks. There's that little cartoon where the clown comes in, gets changed, and then he's in this kind of fishnets and stockings and bustier. And so him and Kevin were just having a conversation. What do you think that fucking guy would be, like his life story would be? And Kevin's like, I don't know. Why don't you write the story about it? And that's what he did. And then when it came up to the conversation, who do you think should do this? I was like, well, I actually wrote it with Brian in mind. And if anybody has seen the movie Vulgar, which by the way, I sell copies of it at my booth, and it's the unrated version too, it's not the rated R version. It's a very, very disturbing film. It's like a buddy comedy that 20 minutes in takes a left turn and go, what the fuck am I watching? Like I've had guys use it as like a date movie, and the girl's like, you're a freak, I'm out of here. And sometimes it's the girls where the guy, she shows the movie, he's like, what are you into? He's like, whatever you want. You never know how that dice is rolled. You gotta be careful with that.
That's fair. Alright, so I just saw a child walk in as you were talking about this.
No. I fairly warned those. How you doing? He's wearing the Brody t-shirt. He was at the table today. I was like, come to think, but just so you know, the language kind of gets salty. And he's like, fuck it. So here we are. It's going to be a car ride home with a lot of questions from two kids going like, Daddy, about the donkey show.
Well, that's a segue. Have you ever seen an actual donkey show?
No.
What are you doing later?
No. As a method actor, of course I have to know what I would be viewing to have the proper reaction on camera, authentic, believable. So the internet is a disgusting place at times, and certain countries have disgusting habits at times. And poor Victoria, you never see donkey shows with that endorsement by PETA. You know what I mean? It's never none of these animals were harmed. No, they were harmed. Some of them might be, and some of them might be pregnant.
Oh!
That's what turns you guys really. I was cool with the show until they got pregnant. But we're gonna force that donkey to have that baby. No abortions in this fucking town. Like that poor girl who's trying to get an abortion and she's in the INS program and like, you're having it. She's like, fuck you, I'm not. So weird. Anyway, I'm getting. I'm not getting into that.
I was going into a trip and I was going to go with. So, in terms of your acting career, you didn't necessarily start out with film. You started out on the stage, yeah?
Yeah. I did theater. I did it as a young kid, and then went through middle school and stuff. I did talent shows, but I didn't do like the acting, like the plays. And then it wasn't until like senior year of high school that I was brought back into doing theater in high school. I did 1 or 2 shows there, and then I went to college and I took theater in college for a year, and then I met my girlfriend back then at the time at the end of high school, and then went for like 3 or 4 years after that, and then stopped and went into like retail and started to work and do really well in retail, and then it was just I'd be at movies with friends and bitching about like that guy fucking sucks. I mean, look at the way he can't even act his way out of his bag and blah blah blah. Look at you, you can't even pass. No. And so my friends used to be like, I'd like to enjoy this fucking movie. Do you mind? I'm like, I'm sorry. So then my one friend's like, you should just go out and start auditioning, quit bitching and just do it. I'm like, no. So then he found auditions for me for plays at certain playhouses, and one of which was the First Avenue Playhouse, which is the playhouse that Kevin held auditions for the original Clerks. And if anybody who has a Blu-ray or the 10-year anniversary edition has the auditions on as a DVD extras. I auditioned for him after doing 2, I had done a show there which I was cast as Renfield the Lunatic in a production of Dracula. Nice. So that was my comeback role as a lunatic. Eating bugs and being choke slammed by Dracula. It was awesome. And so that started me onto my theater career as a younger adult, older adult rather, and then moving on to doing plays, and then auditioning for Kevin and doing that film, and then when that came out, and then getting the friendship with Kevin and doing more film with him, doing Mallrats and Chasing Amy Dogma, that's where it started to carry out. But yeah, my foundation and my love as an actor has always been theater. I try to do at least 1 stage play a year. This year I wasn't able to do it. My schedule got really jammed up with different cons, and I did this TV show just last month called Fireball Run for Amazon. It's a TV series. Thank you. It's a road rally race. It's 40 teams traveling 2,000 miles over 8 days. It's like there's some exotic cars and stuff. There's like McLarens and Ferraris and stuff. And last season, which was season 10, which doesn't air until like the end of this year, we were driving. I have a team of 4 players, and we were driving a Econo line van that was decked out as an ambulance, so we did the classic cannonball run thing. So I was the Dom DeLuise character. And then this year we did a 18-passenger luxury limo bus with like 4 leather couches, a bar, a fridge, and a interpretive dance pole in the back. So that was fun. It was a beast to drive, and I was the only one out of 4 who was experienced in driving large vehicles. So I drove the whole 2,000 miles, not in one sitting, obviously. It's kind of like the Amazing Race, where you're sent to task to do things. A lot of them are historical kind of museums or battlegrounds, or like one last year I got to drive a World War I tank, things like that. So it's a really cool series. It's on Amazon. They have like 3 of the seasons now on Amazon Prime. They're coming out with these next 2. We shot season 11. Like we started in this season, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, ended up in Rapid City in the Dakotas, where we then saw the monument, the Mount Rushmore and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. So I got to do some cool stuff. Anyway, so that I clogged up my schedule for doing plays. But as an actor, I always love doing live theater. And I'm usually, and actually, I've been feeling that urge to be in front of live audiences. Like the Q&As are always fun because I'm in front of a live audience. But I've been doing stand-up more and more these days.
I would love to get like a CD. Yeah, I went back in time on that one. Of you just doing comedy, because you are a very funny man.
Thank you. We actually had just a couple of weeks ago, we did a comedy roast of me, a celebrity comedy roast. Kevin came in and did the opening of it, and he was actually not roasting, he was just extremely kind to me, so it was awesome.
Who was on this roast?
We had most of all the comic men except Walt. So we had Brian Johnson, Mike Zapsik, and Ming Chen. We had these 3 comics who were there. The host was a good friend of mine and comedian Chris Colbert from the Jersey Jokers group of comics. And then 3 other comedians, and Kevin came in, and my girlfriend came in and ripped me a new one because everybody was writing jokes for her. Like, well, I can't say it, but you can get away with this. One of her jokes, just to give you a sample, was like, he's known for, everybody knows him for his role working at the Quick Stop. I know him better as Quick Finish. I was like, you fucking bored.
Is that the worst roast that you got? What's the worst?
Oh no, there's stuff out. Well, because we're in the process of editing it.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, it will be released. So yeah, so it's not like Comedy Central quality roast, but I had the whole sound system mic'd into my Zoom, so the sound, you'll get all the jokes clear. The video is not as clear. It gets clear, but it's not as cool. But you'll get all the wild references that they burned me with. And then, and the thing about roasts, they all come up and roast you, and then you roast them back. Is that who I think it is?
Yeah,
it is.
Smoking weed. Come on, y'all know this song, right? Hey!
Eating balls and sucking balls and touching dicks and sucking, fucking, looking. Oh
Every time.
You never give these guys a break. You're giving them
It's so terrible. No,
I was looking at a picture.
Yeah, that was me.
Picture. I was wondering what your name was.
He's like,
Instead of asking up here, I can look at
We really should just do this.
If you're in this room and you don't know who these two are, get out. Hey, what's up,
Is
man?
this your phone, bro?
No, this is, I'm sure, is somebody recording stuff? Is that what you are doing right now? Is that what these are?
No, I think some of the Wizard World guys came in and did. One of the Wizard World guys
You
sent
got
in
an
2 phones.
old-ass phone like this. The iPhone 8X.
Well, you know what? Well, it's on. It's recording. You know what it is? It's probably someone used that just for recording and not their phone. So
Yeah.
don't lose it.
Fair enough, I'm not judging.
I'm just saying. And you end up with pics. That's on you.
This is another one.
There's another.
Yeah.
We're charging you guys for this.
We don't do this shit, come on.
That's right.
That shit off.
I don't know. But someone just sent a dick pic to whoever.
Yeah, that's pain. Very funny. So how's OKC treating you, Jay?
It's good, it's good.
That's stellar.
Yeah, you guys continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I had something to answer a question.
Yeah.
Talking about the roast. The roast will be out. We'll have that finished and edited. Hopefully, it'll be out soon.
That'd be dope.
We did do an escape room last night. We went over to the sanctuary, and that was kind of
I was
cool.
supposed to go with you guys, but I ended up having to go to the after party for this. But Thomas and
So you couldn't escape the after party. You
could
failed
not
that
escape. I
mission.
did. That's why I was like, I'm not even gonna bother you guys.
Yeah.
Although I heard you guys struggle with escaping the hotel.
It was a 15-minute ordeal just to get there. I'm like, how can I trust you as a team if we fucking can't organize how to get out of the fucking hotel? You're like, wait a minute, it's 2 minutes away. Well, fucking get on it, man. Well, I'm trying to get a count. You don't even know how many people we have? And we're supposed to solve riddles in a fucking half hour?
But you didn't make one of them, right?
We did 2 of them, and what happened was there was 12 of us, so they took 6 of us and 6 of us. So the 2 escapes that we were set up for, one group went into one went into the other, and then we came out and then we swapped. So the first time we did the mob, there's like a mob one where you're being hunted by the mob, and I was part of that group, and we were literally like 25, 35 seconds short of the hour of finishing it. And the other group didn't finish theirs either, which is in a gold mine. It's like you're trapped in a gold mine kind of thing. And then we swapped. And then the second time around, I guess it was the warm-up because both they finished the mob one and we finished the gold mine one. So in a way, we kind of broke even. So in that sense, yeah. But it was cool. I mean, it's a good setup. It also has like a giant haunt out there and stuff. You didn't even go, dude. We invited you. Well, your escape room was like, I finally finished the Lego, man. Did you finish the boat?
I went to, what is he even in here?
Oh, Matt. That's right. You went to
Yeah, I go to
Matt's house.
Matt's house and stuff.
How many by the way, on the ride home, how many Pokemon did you catch?
We actually got 3 new ones.
That's what I heard. I got the update of you and that. You were like, pull over, hold on. Got him! And his 2 younger sons were like, son of a bitch! Oh, they had him already? Like, oh, so did you get them?
Halloween update with 5 new Halloween Pokemon, so it's very exciting. Very exciting right home.
So they didn't escape your grabs. You caught them all.
You gotta see, it was interesting. Matt's house is very interesting. It's like, it reminds me of, like, if you go to Hollywood and you're in like a themed restaurant, and like literally the whole wall is filled with
Celebrities who ate there.
like Gilmore Girls. It's literally like every single poster, picture, theme, and then this wall is full of Spider-Man. This wall is filled, and they're all super neatly.
What the fuck, translator? Now do I gotta sign what you're saying? Fuck you, here you go. Wow. Just fucking wow. I just know you're done, translator. I don't even trust this guy's translator. First sign was he's wearing a fucking Bob fucking shirt. He's probably some dude who's high and he's just having a seizure up there.
See, nobody does that in OKC. That's weird.
Well, you haven't been walking around because you're at some party or something. That shit goes down, bro.
I'm just saying, there was some weirdness at that party too.
I bet.
Yeah. No.
Have you opened it up for questions at all?
No. I mean, I've told them that they can line up, but they've just been listening.
Okay.
You guys got some questions? Come on.
I was just curious. I didn't know you given that option.
Always.
Yeah, man. I heard that you guys are working on the new Jay and Silent Bob. Because I heard you on the cat.
Meow. So we're not working on it yet, but that was good, right?
That was a really good job, dude.
We hopefully, if all goes to plan, in January we'll start shooting. It's not like we haven't started anything, no pre-production or anything. The script's done, and there's been a lot of like phone calls and setting up like, is it going to be in Atlanta or New Orleans? There's a tax credit here, and let's go here. So all that's going on, but right now the plan hopefully will be the first week of January we'll start shooting, and yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully, hey guys, don't leave. It's going to get a lot better, I promise.
It's like they're not filming it yet. I'm out.
But yeah. Hopefully it goes as planned because I'm very excited about it. The script's super funny and amazing, and yeah, I think it'll be a blast. Just whenever we shoot, it's a lot of fun because again, like Brian and I see each other at the cons and stuff. We spend a couple days together, but sometimes we don't see each other for 6 months. But it's cool because when we shoot the movies, like we'll literally spend like 2 months together, and we'll get to see everyone, Kevin, and it's just like camp almost, like summer camp. So I'm excited about it. I'm hopefully January though, but we'll keep updates. Of course, Kevin will on his Facebooks and the Instagrams and the tweets and the social media, the pieces and the cock smoking and the fucking. Oh yeah.
I'm still hung up on your meow. Because I'm imagining you. No, meow. I'm just imagining you with getting a hold of Logan's kind of. Well, it wasn't speaking spell, but the thing where you pull like the cow goes. And then just go like this.
The
See instead? Yeah, that's it.
You have
Oh
one.
my gosh, there's a child here. We're talking
Oh,
about.
there's a couple guys. Yeah. Oh, we forewarned them before you got in, and so they're more than one. But by the way, do you like watch your language around your child?
But I don't even watch. It's like instinct. Like honestly, Jordan and I talked about this the other day. Like for some reason I don't. It's not even on purpose. I just don't curse around her. Jordan curses around Logan more than I do. But again, it's not even me being like, oh, like I just for some reason I don't curse around her. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that why
so-
she doesn't come to cons? Like, because then you'd be like,
Yeah,
ah,
I'm like, hold on.
oh, you are cool. What was her name?
Even
Oh,
now,
okay,
like-
there's your signature.
Yeah, even now I feel like I
To the
can't
nude.
snap. Even though they were warned, I feel like it's like now like my fuck brain is
It's
shut
that
down.
it's the daddy DNA, right?
Yeah, that AdSense is
It's
taken.
shut down.
I'll cover that for you then. Fuck that.
Yo,
Who came up with the idea for the Silence of the Lambs deal on?
Kevin tells a great story about that.
Ooh, buddy.
But I mean, it's about you and how you just would always pull out your junk.
I think it was, I feel like it was because at the time, like, yeah, over the years, I always used to like if I was at Kevin's house, he'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go in the kitchen and talk to my mom for a minute. Like, I would lay in his bed with my pants down and tuck, and then he'd come in, and I'd be like, come on in here, baby. Like, stupid stuff like that, or like, we'd be at the, we'd be at the pit stop, and I'd be in the freezer, stocking milk for him, helping him out, and then I'd be like, hey, bro, come here, and I'd be sitting there, like, butt naked with my balls out, and holding the thing of milk. Stupid stuff like that. But
It's so not sanitary.
so stupid stuff like that over the years. But I think when he was writing Clerks 2, I had just figured out that Hugh Lazarus had sang that song, Goodbye, Hello. And so I was like, oh my God, dude, listen to it. Like, he picked me up there, we were going somewhere, and I threw a CD in this thing. I was like, listen what I found. And so we listened to the song, and then we listened to it again, and then like a couple days later we were going somewhere else, and it was on my mix. Like, by that point, like, when I got in Kevin's car, I'd be like, here's a few songs, let's listen to these. And I think that sort of just got in his brain because we were listening to the song when he was writing Clerks 2. And over time, I always used to like tuck and show my mangina or my ball bag or something. So yeah, it was his idea, but I think, in life, putting my balls in the penis back was my idea. But not in life, because I know more than just I do. I know just probably at least 5 or 6, 7 guys in there have tucked their mangina even before the movie. It's just something we do. It's something you got to try out, Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't come up with the idea of tucking, but I think putting the two things together was sort of Kevin's idea because of that.
Dear Twitter. Jason Mewes invented tucking. Mewes 11.
I do not say at all that I came up with tucking. And everyone here is tucked. Everyone here. Not everyone, most guys here are tucked. Just like most girls in there. I mean,
Oh, don't even hang it! Don't even hang it! Don't do that!
I'm scared now with all the
What are you
stuff
gonna
I
do?
do,
Most women do what?
I can't say.
Come on, it's like a game of
Let's
cards
get
against humanity all of a
let's get
sudden.
her into
All
it.
right, we'll get back to that.
With all that being said, when you was in Zach and Mary, was that like full right that you got to saying you like to do that kind of stuff?
When you say full rain, like full Monty is going on there?
Well, so what? Wait, so in Zach and Mary, when I was walking with my penis out, was that my idea you're saying? No, I honestly thought when I read the script, I just assumed that just like in other movies that I'd come out and there'd be like a bowl of fruit, a flower pot. And it really did. I just thought that Kevin behave. I remember the day before we were shooting that it was like tomorrow is this scene, they give you a call sheet with what's going to be shot. And I was like, oh, so I see tomorrow's there's that scene. What is the idea? If you come up with an idea, is it going to be like a table in front of me and I walk or something like a cat, I'm holding a cat, whatever.
Or a stunt cock? Oh, bring in the stunt cock.
No, I never thought for once that it would be a full-on penis show. I thought it was going to be anything. Anything was going to cover it. A dog, a cat, a gerbil. A guinea pig. Something was going to be there covering my junk as I walk by. But then Kevin's like, I've been thinking about it, and I think that you should just come out with your wiener hanging out. And I was like, I don't know, man. He's like, no, I'm telling you, man. In the last 6 months, there's been a couple movies. Dudes are showing it's the thing now. Like, you show your junk and get away with it.
What movies is he watching, man?
know. I remember him honestly
No,
saying
no,
that
no,
one
no.
movie where the dude was like swimming on his back. It was a comedy. I can't remember what movie it's called, but
Gary Sarbrowski.
maybe something.
Oh, really?
It was a comedy that some dude showed at Prick.
Well, you know what, though, you held yourself well there. Yeah, you did.
So I was, it was his, the idea was his, but I thought it was gonna be fruit baskets. He said, let's do full frontal, and I was like, I don't know, only because my family members always like get excited that I do movies, so they bring my nieces and nephews. At the time, they were like 7 and 9. And then like I just started dating my wife now, but we were together like a year and a half, and I knew that her mom and her godmother and all them were excited to go see the movie when it was finished. So I was like, oh my God, my mother-in-law is going to see my penis. So I just thought it was going to be really weird for those reasons. But then I was like, I'll just try to warn everybody. But the idea for the dropping of the orange juice cap and my ball bag silhouette was my idea. So I was only supposed to, in the scene, I was supposed to walk up and then take a drink. And on purpose, I was like, oops. and then everyone was like, oh my God, and laughed, and like, we have to do it again. And then Kevin was like, also, put a light in the fridge so the light will shine. So that was my idea. So I take credit for that.
Fuck you, Scorsese.
Yeah. Silhouettes of a ball bag, baby. You've had your hand up
Oscar
for
winner.
Knowing all of that is good to.
balls, penises, tucks.
And you've got your own daughter now, and you've got more movies in the universe coming. Do you think that your daughter is going to end up in one of these movies?
Wait a sec, that's where we're talking about my dick, my balls, and me tucking, and then now you're like, is your daughter going to be in the next movie? No, I'm not worried about like the content and stuff. No, I would totally throw her in a scene. Of course, a scene that didn't have anything to do with any of that. Maybe where she's in like, Build-A-Bear, and we walk by and she's in there like chilling, for sure. I'd love to throw her in like a quick cameo or something, if she's into it, we'll see.
Is she in your movie that you shot?
No.
Because I didn't see all the scenes.
Yeah, no. I'll be in the trailer. Did you see the trailer?
Yeah, you showed it to me.
I
It looks
did show
awesome.
it,
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, I didn't know if you put her in it in some scene.
I wish if we could, if we had a screening, I'd show you the trailer.
Mm.
But I don't know, can we get this projection screen down?
Well, there's a TV there. I don't know if the TV's.
Oh, if the TV's here, I actually could play it on the TV, but I'd have to go get my cord and stuff, so I don't know if we want to take that part.
If you want to see the trailer, just come to his booth.
There you go.
Yes, and bring a TV.
But he's got the cord, so we're good.
So my question is for Brian.
Yeah.
Are you even supposed to be here today?
No! Lowest hanging fruit you went for.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody.
Really fuck it up, buddy. Yes, you're right in front.
How much of the James Allen Bob movies is improvised, or is it all scripted?
Well, you're in that more, so. Yeah, but it's the same with like, he does, Will Ferrell, I know, was very quick with improv on that
I
side.
think, Brian's mentioned it too, though, but for Clerks, there was not one piece of improv. Kevin was super, super strict about sticking to the script. I would say Mallrats, same thing. I think he got, as each movie went on, he got a little bit more relaxed with changing a word or two. By the time Zach and Mary came, like Seth Rogen, a lot of it was improv. Will Ferrell did some improv, but in Clerks and Mallrats, it was pretty,
What was
script
written, what was
word
done,
for word. And
Clerks
Casey-
two allowed us a little bit more levity, like 85% scripted, 15% we give some influence.
Yeah, I would say even Chasing Amy, he tells a funny story about Ben trying to have Ben down at the park when he's pushing her on the swing, and he says something like, she says like, oh, what is the line? Something about her getting fisted or something, and he's like, oh my God, so what do you do for an encore? Hit her with a bat? And he like ad-libbed that, and Kevin was like, bro, write your own movie. And then he said that, and then he laughs because he said then he went and wrote Good Will Hunting and they won an Oscar.
But then he tells Sarah when they come back and you guys shoot Dogma Quid, they just won the Oscar, and then he starts to try to take a take where he wants to do some ad-libbing, and once again Kevin's like, listen, fucking Golden Boy, do what's the script. So he gave him the take, and he did it, and he's like, okay, now let's do it the way I want to have it done. Oscar for him.
Yeah, so it was, yeah. But I would say Jay and Bob, he was probably, it was a lot looser. He let me live a bunch, Will Ferrell. So up to Jay and Bob, I would say it was pretty tight on word for word for the script. He's like, look, I wrote the movie, these are my words, spit my words, don't ad lib. So.
Do you have any favorite lines for your character?
I'm not even supposed to be here today. For my character, I don't know, but Brian can answer first. Mine, I don't know, a favorite line. I don't know, I have a lot of fun things I got to say, so I don't know. Would you fuck me? I would say, like, a little quickie, the Boo Boo Kitty fuck.
That's a good one.
I am the click commander.
Yes.
Because it's so true to life.
Oh!
Snappy! Eat that pussy! Look at that pussy!
I'm just imagining people wandering the hall and what the fuck is going on in there? The series was in second round.
He's like, this is too fucking fun.
I know they warned us, but really? Dear Wizard World.
You know that I used to wear a shirt, it was my Sunday shirt that I love, and it says, I want to fuck your face. And Wizard was like, you can't wear that anymore. And it made sense, but I never really connected with it. Because honestly, like, if there was kids that are like at the age of reading, I would like try to like cover it up and be like, oh, nice to meet you. But I didn't really realize how I can't cover it up all the time, and I'd be walking by and kids were like,
or we're taking photos and people are tagging Wizard World in it as well.
and I'm like, it's a great shirt though, right?
It's like, you can do that to a face? Yeah. Out of my phrases, I would say one of my favorites that I like to use to get me out of things is like, try to get the second dick on leave the bottom out.
Have you ever had your asshole raped by a fat man in a girl?
That's one of yours?
Baby!
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Actually, I always want to know, where did "Let Me Find Out" come from? Is that just something you used to say?
That was one of my goofy things. That wasn't in the movies though, right?
When she was up on the roof and you're like, yo, if you're gonna jump, let me hit that ass. Let me just find out.
I don't remember putting it in the movie. Yeah, that was something goofy that I'd say. Sorry, because I know we did that in the London tour where we did our podcast and all that. We did like some good behind the scenes, and I was going up to London girls doing it totally found out. So
Has it ever worked?
it always works.
Yeah.
Not that necessarily, but just in a whole. This works, brother.
Apparently it's better than inviting girls up to your hotel room asking you to shower together, so apparently that's not working.
I feel like that's a personal story.
No, that is not. That's in the news. Read it up. Yeah. Comedian.
How much of the Clerks life story was from?
Well, that was Kevin's life at that time. You know, he worked that Quick Stop, and his good friend worked the video store, and he pretty much wrote that. But if you want to see a movie about how that all came together, there's a movie called Shooting Clerks that was made. That's making the film festival circuit tour. As a matter of fact, we were just in the Melbourne Film Festival in Florida. We won the director's award for that film.
These guys from London, it's like
Scotland. Scottish guys, yeah. So they got that Scottish accent. Which just to get over that and make a Jersey accent was a huge task.
But then going back and listening to all the podcasts and interviews and all this, and it's crazy to sit and watch for me, and I'm sure for Brian too. Like they go from like Kevin being like, I'm gonna write a movie, and to like holding the auditions, and someone's playing Brian coming in, being like, I'm auditioning for this role, but I'm now getting offered this role, and how is he gonna feel? It's really interesting to see, but it does tell Kevin's story from like. How he stopped talking to Brian Johnson for a little bit, and why Brian Johnson's not in the movies. Brian Johnson from Comic Book Men, if you know, watch that show, and Tesdy, the dude with the beard. They were best friends, and they didn't talk for a while, and that's why Brian, you don't see him in Clerks, which is really odd, which I didn't even put together until I watched the movie again. Like,
Right. And he's he's the real life inspiration of Randall. The
Yeah,
character
totally.
Randall is Brian Johnson. So that movie, it's finishing up. It's doing its final edits and stuff to be released. They're talking about distribution, hopefully through Netflix or something like that. So look for a release date, probably by the spring of next year, I would say. But yeah, anyway, that's a great way to see it. Yes, I'm back. Yeah.
Can I have your name tag when this is done?
I guess.
That's mine, bro.
Sure.
I'll sell you, Mike, for $1,000.
More like he's going to another con. He's
I
going to
got a
put
phone
it on a
I'll
table.
sell, bro. I'll sell you this phone for, is it a new iPhone? iPhone 7? We'll go $200.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna give us that.
Oh, I think I paused it.
It's okay.
Is that 36 minutes of froze?
No, it's good. That's because you keep turning it.
Oh, I keep turning around.
We were throwing it to you. Yeah, over here.
How close were they, in the original Clerks, movie to the darker ending? How close did they come to ending it that way?
Where you died.
Oh, where I get shot. It only screened that way once, and then when Kevin got advice from both Bob Hawke and John Pearson, his producers, right, they just said, look, dude, it's a comedy. Why are you ending it on such a down note? I got it. Like Kevin wanted to end it. I'm like, this is their real fucking life. This does happen every day. There are convenience store guests. There are gas station bodega store owners who get shot and killed. So he wanted to end it on a serious ending. I hated when I read it, and I said, like, really want to kill him? And I was like, well, he's the director, and that's what he wanted to do. So I'm glad we didn't kill him because we went on to do more movies. But it is a great little kind of side story about the whole thing. In the back.
I have a two-part question. The first one, Jason, yesterday they gave you an award from Oklahoma with regards to your sobriety and how you shared that with people and how it's affected people. What's it like for you to be able to share that with folks? And also, with regards to Missing Trailer, tell us a little bit about what to expect and when to expect things from the United States.
Oh my goodness, that's some like hardcore stuff. Really sad. What do you mean the missing trailer? It's not missing, we have it. So what to expect? I don't know. I don't really know how to answer all of those questions. That shit was all deep. Very excited and flattered that I got the award, honestly. That was super sweet. I don't know, it was nice. I see Kevin get him all the time, and again, I'm excited for him, but like in Jersey, he just got something Kevin Smith Day when we did the Jay and Bob. So we did a Jay and Silent Bob Guinness Book of World Records, and we had 282, I think it was, Jay and Bob's lookalikes in one spot, which was pretty cool. But we did it on Comic. I guess on this person's shirt.
Yeah, it's on Comic, man. It'll be an episode cover.
So no, it is. It's really flattering and sweet that they thought of me and said all the nice things that they did. And again, for the movie, I mean, I'm hoping that we submitted it to Sundance. Waiting to hear back. If it doesn't get in there, again, I'm not sure what the best process is, what the best way to go about it. I was thinking maybe I would love to go to some cons, like if we're gonna put it out theaters or if we're gonna get it at some film festival would be awesome. But I think it'd be awesome too. There's a lot of cool people in it. Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher, Casper Van Dien, Danny Trejo, Kevin, Stan Lee. I think it'd be cool to do some comic book conventions, screen the movie, and then maybe have like, a 30-minute Q&A afterwards with Dean Cain. Maybe the next convention have a Q&A with Brian O'Halloran and Stan Lee. So we'll see. I don't know. Like again, I have these ideas, but I don't know what the best route would be to go about it. But I don't know. The movie's sort of an Earth 17, I would say, version of Brian O'Halloran and Jason Mewes Kevin Smith and everybody. It's everyone playing themselves, but in a different universe, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun, and I'm excited about it.
You guys are in for a very fucking awesome and funny movie. Just shooting it. I was with them for 10 days in England, shooting it with Gina Carano and myself and Vinnie Jones, and Jay crushes it. He really does. And then just seeing him on flipping it and seeing him on the other side of the camera and directing was a really amazing, proud moment. I've known this cat since he's been 17, and seeing him go through his trials and tribulations of life and his sobriety and stuff, and seeing him now writing, producing, and directing, and seeing him now is just, it's a great feeling for me, someone who's seen him from the age of 17 to now. I'm very, very proud that the state legislature here in Oklahoma recognized his efforts and his continued efforts in his sobriety by giving him this citation of appreciation, which I was like, dude, that's like a get out of jail free card today. I would like, those 280 J's, I would have like, come here, I need you guys to do shit for me now. I command you, J's!
So we have time for one more question, but before we get to it, I have an admission. Jay?
Oh no.
This is my
Yeah, it pretty much.
So
So we didn't actually have an interpreter for this here panel, and I know how much you like the TV interpreter. So this guy, he is not an interpreter. He was a fan.
It's funny because I was wondering why he kept turning red. When I kept being like, push. And I'm like, why is he turning red? Because I can't imagine it's embarrassing to like, maybe the first time, but that's so funny because I for a second thought that and I was like, nah.
What's his name? What's his name? Stephen. Big round of applause for Stephen. Thank you very much. When any of y'all were just videotaping this whole thing and may have to like put it up on your Facebook or whatever, and friends will be like, oh, my uncle is that, and he said, David, that guy is not doing anything. You may want to talk to Wizard World and tell them they got to fire that guy.
We know. So yeah, I just wanted to give you that experience because I know how much you love it when that happens.
I was wondering, like, we don't ever get interpreters. We never get on these shows, but I was like, maybe,
Well, we did get it like the last one in Nashville. Nashville we had it, and you were fucking with the girl.
That's great. That's fantastic.
So I love you.
Oh my goodness.
And then the final question.
This young lady has been holding her hand up for a while.
Yeah.
Just as a fan of comic books, having worked co-starred with Ben Affleck, what's your honest opinion about his role as Batman?
I'm not going to be asking his politics.
Politics these days.
I think, and I remember beforehand when they announced him, and a lot of people asked that question. To me, I'm fine with it. I think he did a good job because I feel, even before he did it, I feel that the hard part is playing Bruce Wayne. Because really, when you're in the bat mask, it's really the decision. I feel like the hardest decision being in the bat suit is what kind of voice you're going to do. You're like, give me the trigger! So I was like, man, what is Ben going to do? Is he like, give me the trigger? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, what do you say?
Only in the bed he says it that way.
I'm just saying, I felt like that was like something to worry about. It was like, how is he going to pull it off? But again, they did the voice thing, and that was awesome. But as his Bruce Wayne, I think he was good. I feel like I always felt, even in Mallrats, he has a distinguished male or whatever that was. He was like, he's smooth. He's in a suit. He looks good. He's smooth. And I feel like Bruce Wayne, I picture him as being a smooth, smooth scholar and a gentleman. But I think he pulled off the Bruce Wayne. So I'm curious to see the Justice League because I feel like he's got a little more stuff. He's going and recruiting everyone. I don't know. I'm interested to see, but I think so far so good. So I'm happy with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. OKC, make some noise for these wonderful guys.
We have to Come on by our table, come back for a table. We leave in like an hour and a half or so.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
3 o'clock, 3:30, we're winding
So
down.
come see us, Dutch Rudders and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Selfies, Dutch Rudders.
Thank you, KC, you guys rock.
Goodbye, Mr.